communication. This is big in Miami. This is very big. And I didn't understand how big it was until I had my first sale. I'm Hispanic, so I grew up primarily speaking Spanish, but when I would, I grew up here in Miami, I came to kindergarten here, so whenever I spoke Spanish, I was always thinking in English. And culturally, it doesn't translate the same way. My first client was a Spanish lady, and I sat in front of her, and we started talking, and I was so blunt. I said, this is what I'm here for, this is what I'm pitching, and this is what we're going to do. And she was like, no, it's not. And she slowed me down a little bit, and she said, you know what, you're a great salesman, you have a great product. I would definitely do business with you, but you have to soften your tone a little bit. She said, you're Hispanic, and it surprises me that you don't know that we generally talk about other things before we even get into business. This was an eye-awakening experience for me because I said, whoa, wait a minute, this is true. They prefer that you talk about what you had for dinner or your kid's soccer game last night before you even talk about business, as opposed to dealing with an American person. An American person almost doesn't want to hear about what you had for breakfast or dinner. They want to get right into business. And me personally, I prefer to work that particular way. I'm very direct, I'm very straightforward, but culturally, there are some differences.
Cultural differences, things to avoid. So don't assume and don't stereotype. Listen actively and empathetically. Be knowledgeable of background and communication statistics. So for example, if you're dealing with, let's say for example, you're dealing with an American, you want to deal with them one type of way. As Frank said, if you're dealing with a Latin, you want to deal with them a different type of way. If you're dealing with an Asian, for example. So one thing that you want to do is you want to do your research, especially when you're meeting new customers. Google them, Facebook them, see where they visit, see where their background is from, because that'll definitely determine on how the rest of the experience goes with them.
The more you know about them, the better off you'll be. Active listening versus passive listening.
Active listening. It's a communication technique used in counseling, training, and conflict resolutions. It requires that the listener fully concentrates, understands, and responds, and then remembers what is being said. Okay? A lot of times we're passive listening. We're on our phones. We're thinking about what we're going to be doing over the weekend. We're doing so much, and are we active listening to every single thing that the person is saying, okay? We may be nodding our heads, but are we nodding our heads at what they're saying, or thinking in the back of our head, what do we need to do? Or we're so quick to respond, we're already thinking about a response before we let them finish, okay? Passive listening is the mechanics and effortless. For an example, if you're awake, you listen passively. It does not require any special efforts. You hear what the person is saying, you might not be able to tell the difference between the major and the minor points, but it is what it's about. So basically you grasp bits and pieces of what they were saying.
It's almost like you're thinking about how you're going to react before you even got there. That's not good too. You always have to catch yourself doing that.
Come on in. Hey, how's it going?
Good, good.
I'm Frank Zepeda.
Awesome, finally met.
Yeah, man, finally, nice to meet.
You as well, have a seat.
Sure.
So Frank, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Myself? Forget myself. I can't wait to talk to you about this house.
No, but I want to know about you.
Well, before I get into myself, let me tell you about how fabulous this house is. This particular house will not be on the market for more than a month. I've done 2 CMAs, I've done a BPO, I've made sure that the value's there. You have no idea the presentation that I'm about to talk to you about.
Well, before you start, let me tell you a little bit about what we need to do between me and my wife.
But hold on. You haven't even heard the best part. I'm gonna sell your property in less than 60 days. How about that?
I don't think we're looking to move that quick.
Well, what are you looking to do?
I'm thinking about finding out about yourself, interviewing other agents, seeing if this is the right decision between me and my wife.
Other agents, but I'm the most powerful agent in this particular block. Do you understand how much inventory I've moved over the last 6 months?
Frank, I think we're gonna call you now. Thank you.
But
it's a pleasure.
Please excuse the bad acting. The point that we're trying to make is that sometimes, and I get very excited about my pitches. When I go in, first of all, I want to tell you guys I love what I do, and I'm very passionate about it, so sometimes I have this humongous ball of energy wanting to come out of me, wanting to explain what I'm doing. But sometimes that's not the best approach. Sometimes people are soft-spoken, sometimes they want to be listened to. So that energy is a big communication barrier. And sometimes you're so eager to explain something to your client, and all they want to do is be listened to. So that's a big mistake that we make sometimes. We go into a listing presentation and we're so eager to tell them about the last deal that we closed and how that's going to make the deal better. And at the end of the day, you miss the most important thing. You never connected with that person you sat with.
Nonverbal communication, very big. Our facial expressions, the way we're sitting when we're at someone's house, our eye contacts, our body posture. Are we slouching? Are we sitting forward? Okay, eye contact is very, very important. It's sincere, okay? Stance, okay? Our dress and our appearance is very important too, but that also plays into what city, what part of town are we in? For example,
Miami-Dade County. In Miami-Dade County, different strokes for different folks. At the end of the day, down here in the Florida Keys, you can sell a multi-million-dollar mansion in flip-flops. It's just the way that it goes. Down here, it doesn't, at the end of the day, you would almost look weird for coming to a listing presentation dressed like this. It makes a huge difference in Miami-Dade County when you're going to a listing presentation and you're marketing to a client who expects you to look a certain way. And at the end of the day, if you don't look the way that they think you're supposed to look, the next person will get the deal. So we almost have to, first of all, know who we're dealing with, understand what they're expecting, and dress the part. Very, very important.
am I effectively communicating? These are some questions that you want to ask yourself. Am I enthusiastic about our conversation? Am I asking open-ended questions about them and their goals? Am I trying to figure out what are they trying to do? Am I adapting to the body language and or their feelings? Am I providing the right amounts of eye connecting? Once again, eye contact, very important. Am I providing helpful suggestions?
Jeff, what do you think, adapting to body language and feelings, how do you think it's important? How do you think that'll play out in a sale?
It's very important. It shows them that you are agreeing with what they're saying. It shows them that you're listening to what they're saying. It shows them that you're building rapport between them.
And how about stance? Maybe even standing, how important is that sometimes?
It shows if you're entertained. It shows if what they're saying is important to you. It shows them a lot, okay? If you're looking at your watch every 5 minutes as they're talking to you, they're trying to express something, it shows that you may not be interested or maybe you have something better to do.
So you're saying fidgeting, all those things are bad signs of communication?
I'll definitely agree, yes.
Collaborating, one of the most important parts that we're going to talk about, collabs. What is collaborating? Coming together to accomplish a task or project, typically where multiple people are contributing. Now guys, this could be with other companies, this could be with other colleagues, this could be with people that compliment you. Me, for example, I love to talk. I'll sit down in front of 10 people a day, it's what I do. But there's people that are very introverted, that are more administrators than people that are extroverts. Those people prefer to be behind the scenes. Doesn't mean that those people can't be part of a well-oiled machine. As a matter of fact, those are the type of people that I recruit that work for me. People that are very detail-oriented, that complement the way that I sell.
Who in here can use more deals? Okay? Exactly.
Strength in numbers, guys. The point that we're trying to make here is that you can get a lot more work done by collaborating with other people as opposed to trying to be a one-man band and trying to wing it all yourself. At the end of the day, the most successful people I've ever met have contributed their success to their teams, not to themselves. So it's a very important key in success.
It goes back to also building relationships. You want to build relationships with your title companies. You want to build relationships with attorneys. You want to build relationships with the mortgage person, the inspector. This is your team. These are the people that you can say, hey, when you're at a listing appointment, my team and I. Okay? So it's very big on who you make rapport with, okay?
And guys, these are hardcore, solid connections that all of us should have. If you don't have your mortgage lender's number on speed dial, then you don't have that connection. If you don't have your inspector's number on speed dial, then that's not your connection. These are strong people that are part of your team that build you. So at the end of the day, rain or shine, 9 o'clock at night, you should be able to call your mortgage lender and say, hey, there's a problem, let's fix it. So your team building is a crucial part of what we're talking about.
Find strength within your weaknesses. Another side of team building, okay? For example, if you know that you're good at note-taking, you may want to be a note-taker and have someone else be a presenter.
Jeff, coming into the industry, how important do you think it is to be part of somebody who's already performing, as opposed to coming in the industry and trying to wing it all yourself?
I think getting on the team is very important.
At the end of the day, guys, finding strengths within your weaknesses also means being part of a mentorship program, maybe working alongside a colleague who's been doing this for a long period of time, almost mimicking what they're doing and sponging everything that they're doing. It's crucial. Outreach. Talk a little bit about outreach.
So once again, outreach. So you want to get involved in, for example, BNI groups. You want to get involved in your church. You want to get involved in community. For example, if you're farming a particular area, that may be an area that you want to get involved in. Your weekend hobbies, if you play golf, if you play pool, you may want to use that opportunity as a form of networking, as a form of building a rapport with those people that you're playing those games with or involved in those church or communities with.
The one thing I will add is don't become a part of something just to become a part of that. Chase your passion. Don't become a member in a horse committee if you don't love horses. You know what I mean? But chase your passion. At the end of the day, if you're into working out, hit the gym. You might find some people in a spinning class that you might be able to connect with. And at the end of the day, these are the type of relationships that we're talking about.
You never really know where your next deal is coming from. Connecting, what is connecting? Frank?
Connecting is building rapport. Connecting is not talking. Connecting is really having that person say, well, wait a minute, I know who that person is. Building that common rapport where that person understands what you're talking about and understands who you are more than anything. Common signs that you're effectively connecting. Guys, who's ever been to a networking event where all you hear is small talk? And the person after person that you talk to says, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm from this company. I hate that. I can't stand that. I'd much rather go to a networking event and connect with 3 people and leave than to sit there all night and hand out my business card to 50 different people. And the difference is, I make it a point when I meet that person that they understand, first of all, who I am and what I'm about. Not what I do for a living, because we all do the same thing. But what makes me different? What makes me tick? Sometimes it could be a personal conversation as to why you're doing what you're doing. But you want to build that common bond with that person so that person doesn't remember as, oh, Frank Zepeda, the broker associate from Douglas Elliman. He says that guy's part of something bigger than just selling real estate. That person's involved in community programs. That person's a big advocate for home ownership. That person cares about something a little bigger than just selling homes. I guess that's my angle when it comes to networking. Anything you want to add on, Jeff?
It's very big, you know, especially like Frank says, so many times we get invited to Realtor events and we sometimes hang around with the same people that we know. It's better to outreach, it's better to go ahead and say, hey, I'm gonna meet, like he said, 3 people, I'm gonna meet new people, because you never know where your next piece of business is coming from, once again.
Yeah, next we're gonna talk about the talker versus the connector. Very important too, hilarious. Yeah, talker spends more time talking than listening, while a connector spends more time listening than talking. It's very obvious, guys. Talkers focus on their dreams and passions foremost. Connectors focus on the dreams and passions of others and how it connects to theirs. The talker will always be sitting there explaining to you what they do and why they're better than the other person. A connector actually sit down there and understand you and understand why they're there and how to connect those 2 particular things. Very, very important. Talker expects others to know everything about them. Connector expects themselves to know everything about others. The talker is more interested in what they have to say, and the connector is more interested in what others have to say. Very, very, very key, guys. At the end of the day, listening is the most important way we can do it.
If you go back to that video that we played, he was so big on presenting his presentation that he wasn't interested in listening to anything that I was saying. And sometimes it's not because we're selfish or we don't care, it's just that we're so energetic, we're so excited, we're so passionate about what we want to do and how good we are that we sometimes don't understand that we have to listen to the person and see what their wants are.
Information overload. One of the main reasons that I talk about connecting is because we have this overabundance of information coming to our clients, our friends, our spheres of influence. Zillow, Trulia, CNN, Facebook, Martha Stewart, it's crazy, it's insane. So, How do you get your client to understand you and trust you and confide in you with what their needs are? How do you set yourself apart from this whole information overload? And I think the key, guys, is really to build rapport with these clients. Very rarely, and I say this rarely because it happens to all of us, but very rarely does a client shop me. Very rarely do they ever ask me what I'm making or how much I'm charging them in commission. I think that if I've done my job with explaining, first of all, who I am, what I'm there to do, what I'm about, and what we're going to do together, they very rarely even ask me any questions. Very often, I just assume the sale, I present my sale, and we move on from there. So I think if you've connected with your client, built that rapport, you haven't cut corners, and you've actually taken the time not to just listen, but to connect, you're going to be closing a lot more deals. Final results. More informed customers, more impactful presentations leads to a boom, strong referral base. Thank you.